Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode on deck here on FTSN. I'm Russ Morgan. Hope everybody's having a good night. Want to start off tonight with what's going on with Murakami. Me comes in the year, probably all last year, going as people were. All I'm hearing is last year offseason willing to spend less because Murakami, however you say his name, was going to be on the market. People didn't want to touch the first baseman market because he was going to be on the market. Now is posting. He's been posted for a while now. It ends Monday, so the last day to sign him's the 22nd. We still got crickets. We got nothing from Murakami. Posting deadline window is Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm hearing nothing really. We haven't really seen much on this 25-year-old slugger who put up such large numbers in Japan. I mean, that's why the first baseman market last year was definitely thinner, and teams were willing less to spend because he was going to be on the market. Because they would be able to post him. I mean, this guy jumped on the scene during 2023, the World Baseball Classic, and had a massive World Baseball Classic that year. And he's put up massive numbers. In Japan. So I'm trying to get his stats. But now I'm hearing crickets. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happens if his posting runs out. If he doesn't get signed by Monday, I guess he goes back to Japan. But I think that'd be the. In my opinion, if that happens, he's never coming back. I mean, I think one issue is most teams don't know where his true position is. Is he a first baseman? Is he a third baseman? Plays. I think teams view him more as a first baseman, but I mean, this guy had some great numbers with the equivalent for the MVP and the MPB. Most teams view him as a first baseman, despite the fact he did play roughly 3/4 of the game at third. His power has been praised by talent evaluators. Most believe his skills will translate to the MLB, but there has been massive strikeout rates. There's been a little buzz. Red Sox have sniffed on him. Padres, but they do have Jake Cronenworth, who's a consistent guy, consistent contact hitter. Cubs. Angels have checked in on, need a third baseman. Diamondback, but I mean, I just don't know where it is. Where he's going to go. I mean, the guy he's had 55 home run years, and we definitely see, if you've seen in the past, I've talked about this with just friends. I haven't talked about it here on the podcast yet, but the home run numbers don't translate as good, as much to the MLB as they, MPB to MLB. If you remember when Hideki Matsui signed with the Yankees, he was known as a power hitter in Japan. I mean, Godzilla. He came over to New York, put up good power numbers, 20 to 25, very good, but was more a gap to gap. So it doesn't translate as much. And, you saw the one report, multiple reports, people coming out. He's got a .93 average on fastballs, 93 and higher. I think that kind of took a hit on his market too. And now people are coming out that they don't know where they're getting these stats from. His average this past year was 260 on 93 and higher. And since, and it's the bad reporting on the MPB has hurt his market. So I mean, this that I think people got scared away, but you're not hearing much on Murakami. But I mean, I don't think that those few reports on his bad his swing and miss rate is high, even though if you've looked at reports, his swing and miss rate is lower than from Shohei Ohtani's time in the MPB. So, I mean, higher than say Suzuki with the Cubs, but lower in Shohei. But you had the barrage of people saying he can't hit 93 and over, which I mean I see. If you know anything about the MPB, Nippon Professional Baseball League in Japan, most of the time they can consider that the equivalent to a AAA affiliate. Now you get the Flashes, the Pans, the Yamamotos, the Suzukis, the Otanis, the Sasaki's, my man being a Yankees fan, I love Tadeki Matsui. I was really sad to see him go after the World Series MVP in 2009. But the guys are, I mean, they're not pumping consistent, 98 plus. It's probably more consistent 93 to 97. And majority, I mean, the average is, I don't know the average. I'm not going to go out and say this is my guess on the average. Is probably more consistent 88 to 93 average. Now, this isn't accurate reporting on my part. I guess that's a little poor on my part. But if they're considering it more on a AAA, I would say guys are probably throwing in the 90, 93 range and moving up in development stage. But, I mean, you haven't seen much. I think there's few teams that would be on a Murakami. I think the Mets would make some serious sense. I mean, you lose out on Alonso. I think, in my opinion, I don't think they really wanted to. I don't think they wanted Alonso last year. All that bad, in my opinion. So I think the Mets would make sense. You're going to have kind of a platoon at first base. You sign Jorge Polanco, who could play first base. You have Mark Vientos, who's the third baseman, first baseman, who's still there, probably could shift to that first base role if he has to. He plays good, has played good defensive first baseman, third baseman in the past. Has struggled at first base, so they have some of those options. But I think the Mets kind of would be a very good fit for him. He could fit in that full-time DH role or that first baseman role. The other one would be Boston. Boston misses on Schwarber. They miss on Pete Alonso. They definitely have a hole at first base. Tristan Casas continued injury history. Murakami can fit into that first base role. 26 age, attractive despite the strikeout rate. So I think that's another area he can fit. And he's got power at all fields. I mean, you got the short porch in left field with Green Monster. I think that could be another fit for him. My guess is the Mets. I think the Mets need to kind of make a splash. Mets have done little things here and there. They signed Luke Weaver from the Yankees. They love signing for the Yankees. But I think the Mets, in my opinion, are number one. They have the whole. They have some guys at first base, a hole there that he could play first base. He could move into that DH role. But the bad reporting on his swing and miss on fastballs over 93. I think it kind of soured some teams. Uh, what's going to happen with Bo Bichette? We're still there. I think Murakami's in that 5 year range, $80 million range, which is a lot down from when when he was going to be posted. It was we were thinking 180 million plus with a long term deal at his 26 age, but it's definitely took a hit. Still got big names on there. Bo Bichette, who was massive for the Blue Jays, even though he wasn't healthy. Where will he go? I think his best choice is go back, join Vlad Guerrero back with the Blue Jays. And he's come out and said he's willing to play. He wants to play second base. He showed he can be a serviceable second baseman in his limited action at second base during the World Series. I think that'd be best suited for him because he's definitely not one of the better defenders. I think his days of being a shortstop are over. Not one of the better defensive shortstops. I think his best option is the Braves. I do look. I'm looking initial, 5 years, 130, 5 years, 150. Other options, I've seen people put out the Mets. I don't think the Mets. I think the Blue Jays. I mean, you put Andres Jimenez, you move him short, you slide Bichette at second. That's a good up the middle. But I mean, there is a little caveat still on the market. I mean, the Mets, I don't think the Mets, they added Marcus Semien with that Brandon Nimmo trade. I don't think that's going to happen. The Yankees are one have always been infatuated with Bo Bichette, his high contact, his low swing and miss, but they do have Jazz Chisholm. But there's been a lot of Jazz Chisholm rumors going around, which fine. I like Jazz a lot. He brings good energy. He's a good clubhouse guy. But the Yankees got so many left-handed hitters. I want if they would bring him in, bring in Bichette, move him to second base. He's got the contact rate is there, and he's got power with what they have. And he's got power. So but I think the Blue Jays would be the best fit. And you'd have Ernie Clement and Barger playing second base and maybe throwing Bichette in a DH role at some times there, just to try to limit his injury history because he's definitely been injured a lot. The other one to a Japanese player to watch is Tasuka Imai, whose posting date is on January 2nd. So there's been a lot of names: Cubs, Yankees, Red Sox in them, Tigers. I've seen the 100, 180 plus. I don't know if he gets that, but this guy has had one of the best years and had a great year in Japan. Initially my first thought was Dodgers. He came out, he said he'd rather beat Otani and Sasaki and Yamamoto than join. He'd rather take him down. So I like that. So the Dodgers are out. Thank God. The Mets would be one if the Dodgers were out. We know Steve Cohen's got big pockets. They need starting pitching bad. But in the past, David Stearns has given big deals to pitchers. It was worked out, and he's getting a 5-6 year. I think there's two teams I'm really identifying for Imai, and that'd be Yankees. And I know they have Japanese players, which he would prefer not to, which would be the Giants. On the Yankees side, he'd slot right in there, right after Fried, Cole, Rodon. Cole and Rodon won't be back, but he'll slot there in the 3-4 hole. Won't have to be put too much pressure. You'd have Cam Schlittler. I think that'd be solid. The rotation really needs for the Yankees. Isn't a real big need. They had a solid ERA without Garrett Cole, but you got Garrett Cole coming back some point in 2026. But, if you want to take down the big dog, you want to take down the Dodgers, you got to have great starting pitching. We saw that with the Dodgers with their great starting pitching. I think he would be a great fit, me wearing my Yankees hat. I want them to sign Imai or Ime. The other one would be the Giants. The Giants would be a solid spot for him. You have Logan Webb, you have Robbie Ray. They're going to be in the mix with a lot of big players, but I will their payroll. Will they be willing to shell out the 6-year deal, which could be 150? I don't know. I'm going Yankees. I think they bite the bullet, pull the trigger, get over that 310 mark because I think you got to get this guy. You got to have a starting pitcher. I think if you get Imai and he's everything that we are predicting, could be one of the better rotations when everybody's healthy with Cole and Fried. And then you would have Rendon. You'd have Cam Schlittler guy who had a great postseason, and then you would have Imai. I think that'd be one of the better starting rotations. And then you could throw Luis Heel. You could trade him, or you can throw him in the pen. You could throw Will Warren in the pen. You could also have a trade piece to try to add. So I think the Yankees got to bite the bullet and sign him. Alex Bregman's out there. I've seen reports Yankees Nation not wanting Alex Bregman. I don't think they'll get Bregman. I would take Bregman in a heartbeat. If any team, you take Alex Bregman. This guy is a clutch hitter, Gold Glove third baseman. I take him in a heartbeat. I think he's a little older. I think the Tigers is a good fit for them. They need a bat. They get a solid third baseman. Would have been perfect for October. They have his old manager there in A.J. Hinch. I think the Tigers keep Scoogle and go for it. I think this is the best fit. The Mets, third base could be a hole. Brett Beatty, who's been up and down, but he's entering his 32 season. I don't think the Cubs maybe, but I think they prefer to play Matt Shaw, who had a solid second half of his rookie year, 258, 317 on base, 522 slugging. The Red Sox, that's the big question mark. Does he go back? The Red Sox definitely, they have a lot of young talent in their system. That can play third base. Marcelo Mayer would be probably the third baseman right now when he comes back healthy. But Bregman did come out and say he really enjoyed playing in Boston. So that's the big kicker. Does he go back to Boston? I think the Tigers is his best fit with his old manager. This is the other one the Yankees got to do, Cody Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger's got two teams in on him. I think just two top teams and a dark horse. And the top two teams are both in the state of New York. Got the Yankees got to bring Bellinger back. He was such a big catalyst for this team. Playing left field, playing center field, can play first base if needed. It's definitely tough when they sign Grisham. But, I'm watching Bellinger all year. The guy just takes professional at bats. He works the count. When he gets in two-strike count, he gets a two-strike approach, works the count, does it. Hey, gets a sacrifice. I don't see enough of those high-contact guys with the Yankees. I think they got to bring them back. But then you go to the other side of New York. You go to Queens. There's definitely a hole in the outfield there. You trade Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, so you lose that outfield spot. Bellinger fits in perfectly there. He's a plus defender, and that's for both sides. But and he can handle center field. I think that'd be good to have a power hitter, a guy who's got power and contact. Tyrone Taylor, solid defensive center field and not getting it really done offensively. My dark horse would be the Dodgers. Do the Dodgers get in the mix, want to spend the big money, as they just spent the big money for Edwin Diaz, bring Bellinger back? I think the Yankees, 6 years, $180 million. They got it. That's another one. Bite the bullet, bring Bellinger back. Framber Valdez will be one. A number of teams, the Cubs need top-end rotation guys. Even though they have Matthew Boyd and Shohei Imanaga, they got payroll flexibility with a lot of young guys with PCA, with Matt Shaw, a lot of young guys who are still under very controllable contracts. But my one is the Orioles. You went for the big splash. You got Pete Alonso. Shouldn't prevent them from getting Framber Valdez. So I mean, that's I think the Orioles got to get it. Their rotation is bare. So I think Framber Valdez there. I mean, another one. I think Blue Jays would have been on them, but I think they're out now with the Cease and I can't remember the guy from they just signed. The Mets would be one of them. They're still, the Mets would be one of them. But I don't know if they go big. I mean, you signed Charmania last year, 3 years, $75 million. Clay Holmes for 38 million, 3 years. I mean, I don't see the Mets going big game fishing for a pitcher like that young. Kyle Tucker. We're still waiting on Kyle Tucker. And there's a lot in the Tucker market. A lot of teams on him. Yankees in on him. Mets in on him. Dodgers might be in on him. Where is he going to go? Blue Jays in on him. He was in Dunedin. I mean, with the Mets, there's definitely a hole there. I mean, you could put Jeff McNeil in center. You have Tyrone Taylor. Trying to see if, I mean, that would be one. I mean, you do have a lot of payroll, some 42 million. But I mean, they were reluctant to give Diaz the big deal. Might be one. Maybe they're going to sign Kyle Tucker. Phillies, Phillies definitely. I mean, they're all in. You sign Kyle Schwarber, you get Adolis Garcia. Do they want to stick with Brandon Marsh in center field, or you got rookie Justin Crawford, who could win the center field job? I think they're all. I think the time now, the Phillies would be an intriguing option for them, but it's an aging team. Their window is closing and closing quick. So I mean, I would think that would be one to watch with them. I don't think the Yankees. I think they prefer, in my opinion, I think they prefer Cody Bellinger first. Bregman, D-backs are in on Bregman. I just saw right now. And then I think the best fit would be the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays, they need a guy. The one thing they didn't have the all postseason and they got back when Bichette there was protection for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, if you put Bichette and Tucker in front and behind, I mean, that's you're never going to pitch around that guy. I mean, you go big, you sign Dylan Cease, you add Cody Ponce was the guy's name I was looking for, but he could be a Springer replacement. Santander maybe comes back healthy. I might be. I was crystal balling before even during the World Series. I think they got to go get Tucker. Now, being a Yankees fan, I don't want to see Kyle Tucker in the AL East, but I think that'd be the best fit. And Jackenzie Noel got DFA'd by the Guardians. What's going to happen with with Mackenzie Gore and Sandy Alcantara because they're both names. I don't know what the Marlins are doing, and I'm sure my guys on this network who are Marlins fans can tell me, are they going it for not? Uh, Alcantara, he'll definitely have had a solid second half. Um, he'll definitely have some suitors. I'd take him on the Yankees if they couldn't get him. Michael King's still out there. Ranger Suarez still out there. I think those, Cubs, Yankees, Michael King. I haven't seen much on Suarez yet. Ranger Suarez. Mackenzie Gore's an interesting name because a young, controllable left-handed pitcher. Very interesting name. And Luis Ariz. Luis Ariz is one. But, you got Kyle Tucker, Bichette. On the pitching side, shoot, I'm trying to just look up some. And my bad. Suarez is, Eugenio Suarez is still out there. Okamoto from Japan still out there. He's 29. He was limited by an elbow injury. Harrison Bader still out there. I'm looking what's going to happen on that trade market. Mackenzie Gore, they got the new GM. Maybe they're trying to retool Alcantara with the Marlins there. Would they ship Cabrera? I don't know. When is it's been we've had some news. They've given us a little sprinkle, but we haven't got the big fish yet after Cease. We got the Cease news, the big splash early, but haven't got anything much yet. So I'm just wondering when we're going to get the next big fish. But definitely not as much news tonight. But I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Probably won't be here doing a episode next week on Christmas. I hope everybody has a great time with, great Christmas and holiday season with their family next week. This was another episode on deck. I'm Russ Morgan. We're here on FTSN. I hope everybody has a great night.